Hello, everybody, wherever you are today. This is the African Actions Network radio and television station. I am James Jensen sitting here today. Whatever you're doing today, whatever your situations are, we want to say, hey, take it one day at a time. Life is becoming more difficult these days, and but keep pressing on. Don't give up. It's our hope that you will make it through this year and other years to come. Liberia is at a crossroad and is approaching elections date. And that is our focus, that is our concern. What kind of leader are Liberians yearning for? Who should be elected as Liberia's next president is our topic for today. And those of you who are out there, thank you for joining us. You can make your comment, you can share the video. Join the debate in whatever way you can. You want to make a call, we are here. We will pick up your call. You want to talk about some of the issues concerning elections in Liberia, we will be happy to hear you or to host you on this program. But I'm Leonard here today, and so I'm going to do my best to deal with the topic as I expect it to be. Now, some of my comment will be my personal opinion on things in Liberia. Elections in Liberia is not just in Liberia, but election is a serious matter. It gave every citizen the opportunity to rethink about their own conditions and to make a decision as to how, in the case of Liberia, the next 6 years of their life going to be. So you're going to have all of the fanfare, all of the gifts, all of the charismatic discussions going on, all of the efforts to convince you, the voters, to elect people into offices. But we don't want to go on the legislature side. Maybe we might talk about it a little while. But our focus is who should be elected as Liberia's next president, who should occupy the executive mansion for Liberia after October 10th. Now, it should be a list by each and every one of you electorates. You must make that decision. You must go in your closet and ask yourself all of the tough questions, or get a list as to why you want to elect somebody to be president. The t-shirts will be given you. You will wear the t-shirts. You'll be given money. You'll be given bags of rice. You'll be given gifts. But those gifts will only be for the election season. And after that, guess what? It is you that must find the money to send your children to school. It is you that must find the money to feed your family. It is you that need to find your rent. It is you that have to find the means as to how you must live this life. It's not about Josh Weir. It's not about Alexander Cumming. It's not about Joseph Bucket. It's not about the young big Kanga that you're all running around. It's not about the Tiawan Gonglo. It's not about any one of those persons who want to be president. It is about your life. How old are you, by the way? What are your achievements? Since you've been getting involved into elections and voting people in, has your life changed? How does your community look like? Is it progressing? Is there a future for Liberia? Look within yourself and make that decision. And maybe nobody is there to tell you these things, but we are two every day. We want to caution you very seriously. If you are 30 years, you're going to be talking about being 36 years after the next government should expire, term should come to an end. I don't know what you're thinking, but I'm thinking about me. I'm thinking about my children's future. I'm thinking about my generation to come. When I sit in my own little corner, I'm thinking about Liberian children. Not just my children, but I'm thinking about the children of Liberia, their future. I'm thinking about the old folks. Why are they suffering? Why should anybody age out without any success? And you all are running around now. Oh yeah, Prince Johnson, why go around with Joseph Boakai. Joseph Boakai selecting someone to be his running mate. All of those things are the political noise now. They will all fill the cloud. If you're not too careful, you will vote in someone who will suffer you for the next 6 years. And you need to be told, the media, we all need to tell you these things because they are reality. If you don't find your rent, Joseph Boakai is not going to find your rent for you. If you don't get a president who can create jobs, trust me, you're not going to make it the next 6 years. So you must be asking yourself now, what quality of the person do I need for president? Look in the list of personalities of people who want to be president. You say, okay, you don't have to be a friend to that person. If you want to make a very good decision, do not look at friendship. Don't look at the things that somebody can give you for the moment. Be asking yourself, can this person create jobs? Is this person qualified enough to make political decisions? Is this person a unified? Is this person leadership qualities? Something that Liberians will enjoy? Is this person going to truly build the country? Is this person someone who feels for the young generation and want to change the trajectory and want to change the conditions of people in the country? Is this person going to influence person? Is this person very serious to think about auditing previous government and make sure they account for the resources of the country? I'm not going to be voting for you. You're going to vote for yourself. And after voting as well, it's time to get to business. And the business that you will get to is to wake up in the morning and make a decision. Can you get a cup of tea for your kids to drink before they go to school? Or can you have a breakfast in short? Can you cook that little dry rice that the children will eat and then be happy to run to school and be happy to stay in school and learn and come back and prepare their future? You're going to run around again and vote for somebody who will come and serve you for another 6 years. You have a reason to be on this earth. Not to be a follower. Someone who will look at themselves and say, well, I came here too, I'm important. Even out here, no matter your situation, tell yourself I am very important and nobody going to use me in this election. People bring money, you can eat the money, all right? See the money and sit down and call your children. So, well, this is what we are. Who you think do we vote for? Who you think they're qualified? Now, I don't want to, I'm going to be, know why? This topic, I'm going to take my time and deal with it subsequently. And I'm going to break it down into parts. And I'm going to take each of those individuals and I'm going to discuss them without fear or favor. Because you need to know. Those of you who will be listening to it, you need to share this video because we want Liberians to know that after election is 6 good years. The great United States said 4 years for president, but Liberia said 6 years. So add the 6 years to your age and ask yourself where the condition is going to be. So who should be elected as Liberia's next president? Right? These are issues you cannot dodge. These are reality that you have to confront every time you see people coming around you asking for your vote. Among all of those who are parading the corridor of wanting to be president, are they honest? Are you looking for honest person in Liberia to be president? What is honesty? What do you want from someone that want to be president? You can take a pen and write your own qualities, the things that you think you need from somebody that you think must be president. Or you can ask yourself, now the library is so complex these days, even your own children, someone that are not making better decisions. So they may not even sit down with you, the parents say, Mom, you know why? You send me to school, times are so hard. We need to sit down and make some discussion and have some discussion and be able to make a decision as to who to be president. I don't know about you, but as we sit even outside of Liberia, we are concerned about that country, Liberia, and the future of that country. And I will talk about the future of that country. The world today is different. People are looking at generation, the children of Liberia. Um, if you look at I mean, we can rely on the census, but I would have loved to see the census and be able to make some and get yeah and be able to make some analysis and reach to a reasonable conclusion as to the Liberian state of affairs relating to the population of that country. What is the educational rate in Liberia? Now, someone will say it's not important, but without knowing these things, those who are planning, those who are setting goals, will not be able to set good goals that will meet the need of those who need to be educated. How many segments of the country, which part of the country can we say, well, educated people are more within this county? And because of this, we probably can use whatever reason or whatever resulted to that part of the country being educated to translate that into other part of the country that is less educated so that you can have a holistic approach of the educational system in the country. But if we cannot even get the statistics, the data, to make analysis and be able to give some piece of advice, or those who are in authority, these are the questions to be asking themselves. The census report, the census that was conducted, we don't show with all of the rigmarole, all of the situation, we don't know how things are. I have not gotten the data. I don't have the census report that I should, even I as a person, I have my personal thinking about that country. And sometimes I would like to deal with these kind of discussions with the raw data in our hands. The young population, what is the educational rate of the young population in Liberia? Or what are the factors that have affected their education? I don't know some of the questions that these census takers had on the field. But if we get a report, we can assume, we can know some of the basic questions that people answer, right? So then, with all of the mixture of situations in the country during this government, and now you're about to elect another government, it's time to really sit and have a sober mind and be able to ask yourself, where can Liberia be the next 6 years? Even if I would be dying, right? Now, this is what leaders ask questions. The leaders say, oh, you cannot, when you're talking like this, people think, so why were you so beautiful, wishful thinking? It's not wishful thinking, it's the reality of life. You will live and die. So you must set conditions so that even when you are leaving the scene, that you will leave behind a country that others will come and oh my God, Liberia, sometimes if we sit and look into the future, look where we are and look into the future, some of us ask the hardest question. And when it comes to who want to be president in Liberia, who should be elected, you want to just close your eye and just make suggestions to Liberian. But what I said as a media person, right? And I want to talk to you. So it will not be too well when I start pointing to people. I start using my personal view, but it might come a time, and this is what I'm talking about. These things I'm doing is going to be a long run. We're going to be talking this topic for a long period until the private elections, because the Liberian will have to make a decision. It is you that have to make a decision. And will come a time we'll put individuals on the screen and discuss them. And if I was to ask you who is the best presidential candidate right now in your own mind that you think you can be making some decision on, with all of the names you have been heard, you had this is what April ends right to this May, to the May 1st, right? So from May to October is not far. So by this time you must have Maybe rationally, you don't go say, oh, that Joseph Barker, or that Alexander Comey, or that Tiawan Gonglo, or that Joe Weir. You probably should have 2-3 names on your list and be able to say, okay, out of the 2-3 names, I'm going to delete name and I'm going to stick with one name before election. And that is on the basis of those qualities that you have set for. Now, I spoke of honesty. Do you want someone honest to be elected as president of Liberia? Do you want someone honest to sit at the executive mansion after October's election? I think everybody wants someone honest, right? You can't dodge that. Everybody needs someone to be honest. You need an honest leader. Everyone wants someone honest. You can't tell me you don't need an honest leader. Everybody needs honest people to lead. Right? Because without honesty, you cannot get people trusting your officials in government. Liberia is not an island. Liberia cannot succeed on her own. In fact, Liberia don't have the kind of resources. I mean, you have the resources, but you don't have the means to develop that country without international assistance. So your decision to elect someone who is very honest will determine the involvement of the international partner in developing that country. So it's not about what you want, it's about finding someone who is honest. When I say honesty, that means you have to go in the close of these people. Ask the hardest question. As I said, it will come a time I will put individuals on the screen. I'll put Tiawan Gonglo here, and we'll have a discussing. We'll put Joseph Barker here, we'll have a discussing. We'll put Joe Weir here, we'll have a discussing. Alexander Cummings, we'll have a discussing. All of those candidates that are out there, we want to put them and put them under the microscope and be able to make a decision, or be able to advise some of you guys as what type of leader you need. I say you need somebody honest. You know, as I was reading through some information, there's something that stood out to me. They said there was a survey. They said the Americans are concerned about what? The reading time of a president. Do you know people set their eyes on things that they know can better the office of the presidency? What's the reading time of each of these presidents? Someone will say that's not important, right? You know, when I saw that, I said, wow, that's a very important point. Because all of us have been to school, done assignments, and read books to do other stuff and what have you, or are still reading whatever your conditions are, whatever you are involved in. The office of the president requires someone who can read. Someone doesn't say reading just because you want to read. I'm talking about someone who can read with comprehension and be able to tell somebody and be able to catch those little tricks of officials who just want to come and still bring some proposal, bring some a deal to you to sign, and you can read. So the reading time of a president is one of those criteria that you need to put into your diary and be able to sit around it. Can this person be able to read 100 to 1,000 pages of document and be able to, okay, you know why? I can put my signature on this. This will better the country. Some of you think education is not important. That's the mindset of Liberians. Not most Liberians, not all Liberians. That's the mindset of some Liberians, that education is not important. And because of that, they don't care. They feel that any Tom, Dick, and Harry can wake up in the morning and say, you want to be president, and they think that that person can be president. So who should be elected as Liberia's next president? It's a question we want to ask you, because it is you that have to live your life. It is you that have to send the children to school. It is you that have to prepare your children for the future. So who should be elected? Who are you preparing to elect for Liberia executive mansion? What are the qualities that you think you need in a president? Are you named two? Even go far here. honesty, and someone who can read. What is the reading time? What's the reading time of George Weah? Let me be a little pragmatic here. What is the reading time of George Weah? What is the reading time of Alexander Cummings? What is the reading time of Joseph Boakai? What is the reading time of Tiwon Gonglo? What is the reading time of all of these presidential candidates? Forgive me if I don't call your presidential candidate name, but I'm talking about all of them. What is the reading time of these people? How many? And somebody say, but this is so serious because I know what that means. I don't want to tell you some of the things that I've been through as reading concerned, but you can't read, you nobody. I mean, sorry, I'm not saying this. So if you've been to school, good. If you have not been to school, there's a lot of things you can do. Let me be honest with you. I don't disrespect those who didn't go to school. People have common sense. There are some people who didn't go to school, they even have more common sense than those who've been to school. I know that for a fact. When it comes to the presidency, my criteria, you must be educated. That's one of my criteria. You must be educated. If you say the Constitution of Liberia did not say education, you're fooling yourself. Because why? It is implied that you must be educated. Because why? You have to appoint qualified persons into government who should not be more educated than you. I'm serious about this, right? Maybe somebody said that's a debate. Yeah, you want to debate that? Send me a text. I'll bring you with debate that. Whether Liberia need an educated person. In fact, the way the world is going now, you don't just need an educated, you will need someone who has the mind of being someone who must have a global mind, global thinking. Think about, you see the globe behind me, that's the entire world, right? You must sit as a president, not because of that little place called Liberia. I'm saying little place, not in disrespect of the country, but in terms of the size, right? But you see the world map behind me. It means you must have not just a thinking person of Liberia, like now Africa, Sudan, right? People are killing themselves over there. You have to get the United States government trying to break up peace deals and all of those stuff, and people ceasefire rather into that place where African leaders are supposed to be handling their own affairs. But if an African leader cannot handle his country's affairs, can he think about Africa as a whole? No, he cannot. So you must have elected, or you must elect someone who is educated. And by that standard, if I have my own way, we will look for the resume of each of those persons who want to be president in Liberia. And we'll critique them, and we go down to their high schools, their elementary schools, and know where they came from. If somebody lied their educational record, credentials, that's a serious matter. It's not about friendship. I will not vote for that person. Because that person went and maybe micromanage or whatever they did to get their record straight, and all of those stuff. Why would you want to do that? Dishonesty in the first place. The American government will not, the American citizens, by the time you find to catch those things, then forget it. You are done. But Liberia, they compromise everything. The things that they can, no, Liberians want Liberia to progress. But Liberians know what they can do to make that country progress, but they ignore it because someone, if you were, this person become president, the person will be my friend. This person will be my best friend. I will be appointed into government. So because of that, people are even afraid to talk because why? If I criticize Joseph Boakai become president, meaning they will not consider me. Jensen, I don't care. I can do anything to survive. So I'm going to critique these people. So those who get ears will hear it. Because guess what? After the election, it is your life. You will have to face the reality, the harsh reality of life after elections. So I said honesty is number one. So honesty will be why. Okay, you know why? Before you want to take the highest office in the land, you must have been someone who's been prepared. To be prepared, it means then you have your records inside. You have somebody who people have relied on you for years. You yourself, you must have demonstrated. Do we have records in Liberia in the first place? People go and tamper with records and everything and mess up everything, and the thing say that's how the country can progress. But you cannot sit and fool yourself, my dear Liberians. You must make the ultimate decision to change your life around. It is saddening to be born and get into this world. You suffer throughout your life and you die. Now, when you're going through all the suffering, you bring children into this world, and probably you don't prepare them, or the society did not prepare them, and they die. The worst of it all is our old people in Liberia. Sometimes when people reach certain age in life, they need all assistance. Now, the legislative branch of government, what are resources for the old folks when people who have strength, someone who worked for government before and don't have it? What can they rely on in their old age? There's no holistic approach. All we heard in this government was the legislators were trying to pass a piece of law for they, their family, their children. So even when they leave government, they must have the means to live and survive in the midst of a poverty-stricken nation. So the people you elect will you will tell yourself things will be better. That's the sense I'm trying to. If you elect someone who is honest, that person will always be concerned about your well-being as a people and as a nation. So who are you going to be electing as your next president? So number one, to you honesty, right? Number two, about the person's reading time. So you need now that's something difficult for most of us because even those who are in the race, they're not going to tell you these things. They will not tell you. And likely, you may not, except maybe you just look at their educational record. Yes, okay, the person has this education, the person has some stimuli to be able to move and do things very fast and other stuff, right? But you're not going to know it. So when you can't read, well, guess what? You depend on people most of the time to do your reading. And if those persons are dishonest themselves, they will always make you to sign the wrong document that will even plunge the country into some serious matters. They're talking about, they say Liberia debt gone way high up again under this government. So Liberia is always in debt. Yeah, we know all nations get into that crisis. But in the same vein, you must have people who are more serious to tackle these problems, and the debt must be to the benefit of those who are living in our country and not to suffer them. So who should be elected as the next president? Should it be George Weah? Should it be Tion Gonglo? Should it be Joseph Boakai? Should it be Alexander Cummings? Should it be, how you call it, Chuchu Jones? Alexander Chuchu Jones? Should it be Dado Gopu? Out of those who are out there, who should be like your next president? Let's think about it. It's something to think about. Should we elect someone who has a better approach towards other Liberians? Someone who is a unifier, someone who Liberians can have confidence in, that this person can unify Liberia. How do you know some of these things? How do you know a unifier? You can follow those things through the traits of those who are being around. Someone want to be president. If you just want to be president, I say I'm a unifier. First thing you'll be asking yourself, what are some of the things being involved in? What are his social connections, his relationships, his with people? Okay, is he a people-friendly person? Is he a people-centered person? You ask yourself all of these hard questions. And if you're doing that, you can give me applause or give me a minus, or you can give me, maybe you say between 1 to 10, you can say, okay, this man I give him 6, I give him 10, I give him 5, I give him 0, right? Now, when you're doing that, you give yourself a sense of thinking as to what decision you have to make for people. When you set in your own corner, you make the decisions. So when you join arguments or you're in a public sphere and you want to convince people, you definitely will know what to tell them. So what are your criteria? What are the qualities that you are now seeing? What are some of the qualities of other world leaders you think you can be seeking from some of those persons coming around you that want to get your vote to be president? These are hard questions. They may look simple, but you need to answer them yourself, because it is you that will face you will wear your own shoes. When I say you wear your own shoes, you will have to wake up in the morning, whether you're going to sit in traffic for 3, 4, 5 hours, wasting your lifetime, it's up to you. Whether you will elect someone who had to say, well, the traffic is a serious problem, my people wasting their life. Can you imagine you sitting in traffic for 3 hours every day? Do you know what that means for a poor country? Every hour, some of you could be working to make $12 an hour. If you sat in traffic for 3 hours or somewhere, that's $36 you have wasted. So I will be looking into all of these situations. Why should I sit in traffic for 3, 4 hours? Okay, let me say, fine, that's 3 hours to go, 3 hours to come back. Or maybe less than that, right? I'm just assuming. So do some calculation. If you make it even $2 an hour, and you lose that $2 sitting in a car to look from where you're going to go, you miss 1 hour at $2 every day. If $2, I'm not talking about in LIBERIA, in US dollar. If $2, you earn $2 every day, every hour, multiply that by the time you waste, the hours you waste in traffic just to move to go to work and to come back. Now, when you don't have a leader who's going to solve the traffic issue, that's a minus for your entire life. I just take 2 hours, or let's say 2 hours, assuming you waste 2 hours or 4 hours every day just to go to work or go out and come back in. Multiply that by per day, by week, by month, and by year, and multiply that by 6 years. I'm not going to do the math. I don't have the time for that, but you can do it. It's not a difficult math. You can do it, right? Then you get to know where you are and what are you. That's the time you ask yourself, "Oh my God, I have to elect somebody who can make my life better," right? That's the time you tell somebody you have to elect someone who will make your life better. It's not a joke. It's a serious matter. It's about how you want your situation to change. If you don't change your situation, you're never going to know how. Nobody going to do it for you. You hear all the names, but after elections, it is you that must make your decision of your life. It is you that have to make that decision. If you want to find food, you wake up in the morning, you don't have a job. It's not the owl say that I'm going to give you the food on the market. I mean, going to put food on your table. It's not the teachers that you work going to put food on your table. No, it's not. It's not going to be the election period that's going to send your children to school. It's an election period that's going to get your children to have breakfast before going to school. So you must make a decision as to who is going to be your next president. And you must be very serious about that. When they come to you with all of the t-shirts, the bag of rice, or the money and everything, after all of those things, you ask yourself, primarily on election day. Now, as I said, we're going to be talking about this continuously. We interspice with many other things, but this period of election is a time to think serious about yourself first. Like you said, where have you been? Where are you? And where will you be going? Who is the best person to be elected to take you to your best journey? That's the question you should be asking. After the election, can you be a show of your life? Or are you going to waste another 6 years? So look at all of them and make a decision on the basis of your thinking, your conviction, and say, this person is the best person that I can stand with. This is the best person I can elect. This person is honest. This person has the qualities that I need to be in the executive mansion. As I was thinking, I was reading some of the qualities of people like the United States, to be very specific. Somebody talking about the spiritual involvement of people also matter now. That's a critical issue, right? Because I wouldn't want to say people should elect those who are Christians, or people should elect those who are Muslims. Those are all part of your personal decision as to who you want to be president. If you want to look at the spiritualness of who is or who should be president, it's up to you. One thing I will send out to you is somebody is not balanced in terms of you want to be a Muslim, be a Muslim. You want to be a Christian, be a Christian. You want to be an atheist, let it know you to be an atheist and present your case to the people. Even though I'm an atheist, but this is what I can do for Liberia. Even though I'm a Christian, but as someone who want to be president of Liberia, I can do this for Liberia. Even though I'm a Muslim, I can do it beyond my Muslim religion. So when you ask all of these hard questions, you will get answers. But do not let people to spin you around and make you to believe what they are not. And at the end of the day, when your vote is cast, it is you that are going to live your life for the next 6 years. So that shouldn't be about friendship. It should be your personal decision. Now, personal decision will go with you into the ballot box. And then you will go cast a ballot and say, well, this is my ballot I'm casting. I pray that God, you happen to get this person to be the best leader. Maybe after you're done all your evaluation, all of the questions are asked, and you find answers to your questions. So who should be elected as Liberia's next president? Should it be Josh Weah? Should it be Tewan Gonglo? Should it be Joseph Boakai? Should it be Alexander Cummings? Should it be, who should it be? What kind of person do you want to occupy Liberia's executive mansion? If you don't have answers, sit into some discussion. When I say discussion, don't just sit with anybody. In fact, social media, some of us will be very deceptive. We'll tell you things that are probably not real. So all of these things add to your confusion. Who should you listen to get some piece of advice as to what kind of leader do you need? Right? If you don't get in the right company, you don't tune to the right media platform, or read the right newspaper, or listen to the right radio station, people will be telling you some of the best quality that you should look for in a person, in a presidential candidate. You might just be a follower and listen to people opinion, and you get hooked up to it. But if you're very serious, you can read, you can ask questions. There are some old people sitting somewhere who can even give you some of their, somebody who has suffered for 6 years will be more careful, should be more careful as to who they elect. If you are not suffered at all, then of course you can say, okay, I will have what I have. Now let me say that somebody can say, well, it's better to know, to stick to the devil that you know, that the angel you don't know. All of these things, some of these statements that we all read every day or we hear every day, these are statements that require analysis. And sometimes people don't even have that mindset to make those analyses come true, and they can advise people. Do you want to stick to a devil that you know? Somebody say, it's better to stick with the devil that I know than an angel I don't know. Oh, if I know there's an angel coming, I want to see the angel, right? But if I know the devil, I know how the devil treats me. You know how the devil treats you already. You want to see with the devil? It's up to you. Go steal with the devil. You know the devil. You want to steal with the devil? Go steal with the devil. Go lie on in bed with the devil. Right? But on a serious note, you must be making some serious decisions about your own life, your children to come, your grandchildren, great-grandchildren to come. You know, when you leave this world, you're leaving behind a generation. That is my thinking. But Jensen, if Jensen want to leave this world, everything I do right now, the first time I don't just think about myself these days. In fact, for some of us, the life God gave us is just hard. So now you make small money, somebody then they ask you, you can't say no. You just have to help somebody, right? At the end of the day, maybe some of them, you just have to say, well, when I age, did the thing happen, right? But for you, let's think the same way. How many of these people are thinking, say, we have to build a nation? We have to leave behind a nation. You live in Liberia, children live in Liberia, they don't have electricity. People talk about war years. That war year been going ever since. But yet, children are still, by the time it's 7 o'clock, if there's no candle or there's no other means, these superficial things people do around, the post street lights, all they say, all is well. I don't think so. That's not how it should be. There must be a holistic approach. Give Liberians electricity, give Liberians better roads. I'm talking about when you're building roads, it means you're doing something, a durable condition, right? But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about these are things that should be able to help you to make decisions. Who should be elected as Liberia's next president? It's a question asked to you. And you assume you can make a decision. It's not your friend, it's not your mom. When you're after 18 years of age, it is expected that you can make that decision who you're going to elect as your next president. All right. So I was talking about honesty, and that's one criteria one on my list. And the next one I told you about was what is the reading time of these people? Now that's my personal thinking. I would want to know the reading time of each one who can be president. How long can this person read? Because I'm reading because guess what? When you appoint ministers in government, when you appoint your cabinet, these people supposed to make report periodically, not even periodically, almost like on a daily basis, you're going to be getting information. You're going to be having communications. When you as president, you have to read. You don't just depend on somebody who's just saying in your office, they read something, they kind of tell somebody. Now that's the time. If you don't have the sense of even appointing people that get around you, that's a mess in itself. Now everybody got to, as long as I said here, somebody may think, oh no, Jensen is good. Jensen can be this person, right? Maybe you don't even care to read my resume. You don't care to know what I've been through, whatever I've been, and you be carried away just because Jensen is on social media. So Jensen is educated. Jensen is somebody who can help me. So our best educated people are known as a result of what I would term as some of them are noise makers. So people see these people and say, well, these are the people who can be my cabinet. My kitchen cabinet will be this person. But people forget to know that Liberia that we saw yesterday, we had people who had to become cadet. People got to learn to climb the ladder. But somebody who has not been in any office before, don't even know an officer, there's somebody that I worked with, and a person entered, and then we were writing the letter, a letter to an official letter. And the person asked me, how do we start the paragraph, as to how to write that official letter. I mean, I can't call names here, but I'm just saying how important these things are. If you don't know them, they matter most. The things that people don't think about, but these are the things that are involved in governance. After all of the election thing, the form fair, the sharing of t-shirt, they give, the bag of rice, and all those things are over, is now left with those who were elected to rule or to govern in a way that you expect them to be. But sometimes it is the contrary. So that is why we're asking you, and we want you to think about who should be elected as your next president in Liberia. You will hear from people, but you must sit and make that lunar decision. That's what I call secret ballot. The secret ballot is to think for yourself. How will 6 years be? Is that because you're selling your market, you're on a market table, you sit and just fool yourself? You must open your ears and listen. You must be able to ask questions where you can now get answers. And don't ask people who will deceive you. Be able to find answers from people who are knowledgeable. When I say knowledgeable, not necessarily a person who's been in school. There's some old folks who sit in some corner. They can provide smart answers for a question like this: who should be in Liberia's executive mansion? So use the time. Ask questions. Don't be carried away. Because I will say time will pass. Not just for October. The month of October will soon be come and go. And from there, from October 10th, maybe election, according to the election commission, will announce election result by the 25th. That one I'm marking Mandarin. That's what the chairperson of the election commission said. She said she will now go beyond the 25th of October to announce who is Liberia's next president. And we'll hold her by that. So after October 25th, we will know who is Liberia's next president, according to the chairperson of the election commission. But when you pass that time, like just preparation for inauguration, but trust me, it is now time that you sit and ask yourself whether you will get a job, whether there will be job created, whether there will be electricity, whether you'll be able to prepare, find breakfast for your children to go to school, whether you'll be able to get your old people to hospital and have them take medical treatment, whether you'll be able to get on the road and go to your place and come back sooner, whether you can move from Douala and get to Broad Street in just the 15, 10 minutes. Those are questions that will be left for those who you may have elected. So this is a period to ask yourself all of your questions. Who can solve this traffic issue so fast? I will put that into my discussions if I want to. Can this person change this condition in a period of maybe the first 100 days? Can we have a good look as to how the traffic will be? I don't know about you, but I'm worried about that because that is eating some essential time of your life on this earth. If you don't know that, once again, if you sit in traffic for 2-3 hours to go to work or to go to one point A to point B and come back, not in time, you're wasting your life. Honestly, you're wasting your life. And that's something that many of you are not thinking about. If you waste 2 hours every day, let us assume, I know many of you, I know somebody who, George, who told me he spent almost 5 hours to go to court and 5 hours to get back home. Almost 10 hours. That's the whole day, right? That's almost the whole day. Even let us assume that that person was over exaggerating, but 3 hours is too much. Even 1 hour, if you work again, let me say this: if you're working and making two United States dollars per hour in a Liberian context, in the US maybe $12 an hour, you want to waste that? That's important. So if you waste 2 hours, 3 hours, add it up, and you will know the financial implication on you. So these are things that you should be factoring in. How can the movement of Liberian be? Is there anybody who can make it much easier? Any of the people running around? Mr. Presidential candidate, the traffic, you have sat in traffic, maybe because of a position, police can create cover for you to pass. But are you satisfied with the traffic condition in Liberia? If not, can we be sure that when you are elected, you can solve this problem? Someone should give you a vivid description of what they're able to do. If they can't do it, it means you're going to stay with the same situation for another 6 years. Period. Nothing to add, nothing to subtract. If you don't get to know from these people they can solve this problem, you're going to be in the same thing. It means you're going to be wasting your life for another 6 years. If you're wasting 2 hours now, you're going to be wasting the same 2 hours. Nothing's going to be changed as far as traffic is concerned. And all the people are listening to, I've never heard any one of them talking about this traffic condition in Liberia. They don't see it as a problem, but it's a major problem that is affecting the majority of Liberians in and majority of Liberians, and even foreign partners in that country. Imagine somebody you sick from Broadview, you had to go to JFK. A pregnant woman probably was supposed to give birth, and that woman was supposed to go to JFK, and that woman had to sit in traffic. God forbid, even sit in traffic from Broadview to pass through the traffic and get to Douala. From Douala to pass through there and get to Freeport. From Freeport to Broad Street. From Broad Street, then you get into A and get it to Cinco and then the JFK. Think about these things and ask yourself: can life change? It is only you that can change life in this election. After election, you must go sit in your corner and leave it with them to do it. So you don't think well for yourself in this election? It's up to you. It's up to you. If you're 30 years, you're going to be adding 36. You're going to be turning 36 after the next government should have leave office. If you're 40 years, you're going to be 46. If you're 46, you're going to be 52. If you're 50, you're going to be 56. If you're 60 years, maybe you haven't done any achievement, maybe you're hoping on 6 years, then trust me, you're just going to say, okay, goodbye to life. Right? So these are crucial moments. When we talk about election, they are crucial moments. It's nothing to make fun about. It's nothing to just sit down and be follower of people. It's not crowd that will put bread on your table. It's not a crowd. The crowd you see today will soon disappear. And everybody will go do the same old job. The young people getting on pen. Pen should not be the portion of any young man in Liberia. It should be a means to, it's the temporary thing. That should be war days. The young people should now be engaged and put into communities and maybe projects or schools or carpentry or some things should be done with them. So these are questions. So the young people are writing pen. Is there any plan for you, Mr. Presidential candidate, wanting to change the way young people's lives are being wasted? Every young person, by the time they find to fight, how to learn how to ride a motorbike, and then they can use that as a means of survival. Are you going to change the situation? How? Let me tell you. Right? The children in Liberia, kids or girls, children, boys, children, people are selling to help their parents for survival. A young child will come in the morning and put a few pieces of cassava, part of cassava in a willow or something, and that child had to go and sell. Either it's a bitter ball, maybe the interior side. I don't know whether that's happening in Morovia, but maybe the interior side, somebody had to go sit, maybe the pepper, put it by part. You see those things, and $5, I don't know those things now, and they have to sell. How much can the person get out of that? And go buy food, go and cook, feed children. So these are serious issues. To change the life of the people, you need a serious, honest, prepared individual to serve as president. It's not just somebody who can get it from anywhere and be president. The presidency, it should be set aside for someone who has been prepared for it. When I say prepare, it's in context. Nobody should just get up who have no idea of wanting to be president. You must make that lonely decision as to who you want to be a next president. Who can deliver Liberia? And somebody will say, maybe George Weah can still be. Well, I don't know. For you, I can make a decision. If you want Joe Weah to be president, it's up to you. It's up to you. Maybe your 6 year was good. So you want to, if the 6 year was good, why would you want to change your 6 year? Continue with it, right? If the 6 year was bad, why would you want to continue being in the same bad state? Got to change it, right? So everything you're going to be making, all the running around, all of the tissues, the leaving your busy time to get out there, it will only have value when you have the best president for Liberia. If you don't have the best president of Liberia, your life will be wasted for 6 years. Because guess what? Nothing will change. I read a post. Somebody said, if you are still going on Do River, to ease yourself, you still going on Do River to ease yourself. If you did that for 6 years, or let's say 12 years, or 24 years, or say you were born, you'd be going on the Do River, and yet you get up, you get in the street, and you're jumping behind people, and you don't look at your own condition, then you should be asking yourself more questions. Why am I doing this? For what reason? I've been doing this all over the years. People can want to be president. I don't have people don't think about even the Do River situation. It's a nightmare for all the people on the Stinker Belt and going towards Slipway and all the way in the place there. West Pointers, no disrespect to people, but the reality of things, going on the beach to ease yourself, that is not life. Those are all conditions. So the best you can do is to start think out of the box. Who can change the situation? Unless some of you will get frustrated and say, well, I'm not going to vote. Right? I'm not going to vote because nothing going to change. Right? I've heard people saying, why am I going to waste my time either? Nothing will change. But it's you that can change things. Now, I'm telling somebody, I say, you know what? If you know for sure that 1 gallon of gas cannot take you from where you are to from point A to point B, you put 1 gallon of gas in the car, you will not reach your point B. You get that? If you know for sure 1 gallon of gas, let's say for example, 1 gallon of gas cannot take you from Morovia to Banga, and you fool yourself, you put 1 gallon of gas in the car, and you say you went Banga, and maybe God forbid you get maybe a sick person in there, or let's say from Banga to Morovia, you get a sick person in the car, you know for sure you will not reach Morovia because 1 gallon of gas will not bring you to Morovia, right? So in short, it is you that are going to make a decision as to how the ship that you will get on board will not sink. And the ship that you will get on board, the captain of that ship is you that are going to elect that captain. The captain is the person like who's supposed to be entering the executive mansion. Even the executive mansion is not fully complete yet. They still every time they send budget in there, that's another subject by itself. But I'm still be concerned. That one wherever they want to say their business, they don't care for the country or their business. But you, can you find food to eat in the first place? Have your children been eating good meal going to school? Or do your children go to school with sour face and return with sour face and there's no hope? Not that you don't love them, but because you don't have the means to help them. So once again, whether it's going to be George Weah, Joseph Brackett, Teron Gonglo, Alexander Cummings, these are people say from. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I think Liberia will look deeper this time around. And I think this is where I don't agree with all the crowd. Cry is nothing, right? I don't believe in that. Somebody say, well, it's a good sample size. I will admit to that. I mean, people gather for a lot of reasons, and you wouldn't know the reasons why people gather. Some people gather because why? People are dishing out money in a period of time. So they want to get some of that money. Because saying I go to work and get the money, they get money to divide, I'll go and get some. So people gather for that purpose. Some people go to those places because why? They want to see and they don't get nothing to do. In Liberia was a basic society where people had to work 8 hours. You go to work in the morning, some people go to work in the afternoon, some people go to work in the night. Who would want to gather around people running for president? Maybe you had to struggle hard to even gather people, right? But people are less basic. People are less basic. Like what are we here, Jensen? Even to go to parties here, it takes it. I don't know. I'm worried about my hour, right? Do I go and waste 2, 3 hours sitting in one place and just because somebody get beer to drink? Once in a while, I do those things, go around, friends and all those stuff. It's important for life. You have to socialize. But political parties, In Liberia, when things are not well, you have to find the food. You don't get food sitting there, like me, my little iceberg, get food inside, right? So I can get out and say, you know what? I can go out there and even I get nothing to do today. I will come. I still have something. I can even pick up some of those soft drink and say, well, drink and drink and be well. But you don't have it. Then you go in the street. I will say, muya, 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 muya. All of this thing over, you get back to your corner and you cannot find the food to eat. Sometimes even your own bedroom. When you be lying down in comfort, you don't have it. A grown-up person, sadly enough, you don't deserve to live that kind of a life. But you don't have to meet, you don't get a job. You fought hard, you went through high school, you went to college and everything, you don't get a job. Not only the job that will meet your expectation, but it's like people don't care. But then this election, they are forced because the constitution demand of them to have election, and they will have to come to you. So everybody running to you. So that's how we come to this end. We're going to continue this topic. As I said to you, we will put individuals on the screen and we're going to discuss them. And for us here, we don't have fish to fry. We don't have, when I say fish to fry, we don't have special interest to hide anything. So we'll put the candidate, we'll put Joe Weir on the screen. We'll discuss the possibility of Joe Weir becoming the next president of city and the unlikely. But if he becomes president, he may not achieve this thing. We'll discuss these things. We'll put Joseph Boakai on the screen. We'll discuss him. Can Joseph Boakai make a better president? Not all the crowd thing we see. Can he be Liberia's next president and better president? We'll discuss him. We'll put Alexander Cumming on the screen. We need to discuss him. Can Alexander Cumming make a better president? We had to discuss it. We had to put Theoban Gonglo on screen. We had to ask ourselves these questions. And very likely, we might say, okay, out of the list, we think two presidents Liberian must look at them. Or we must say, okay, Liberian, well, where we are, we just give you all of your advice. You make your own decision. But the media, and I think I will have to do this, we had to bring media practitioners on the screen so we all can begin to discuss these things. The qualities that could make someone become president and change the country. Not because we think somebody becoming president, I will be appointed in the government. That's selfishness. You know, oh yeah, I think I will act in such a way so that everybody will look at me when anybody become president. That's some people attribute. Some people will decide not to talk because why? When you talk, Joseph Boakai become president, he will not think, he will not look at you. When you talk, Alexander Cumming become president, he not want to look at you. When you talk, Joe Weir become president, he not want to look at you. That's the mindset. So some people even call them to discuss, they don't want to talk. Because everybody, they want to play the cat and mouse game. Anybody become president, I will be the chance of serving the minister as a minister. Jensen, I don't care. Somebody think, one thing I know about myself, there are some things I know personally I can do, right? So when I have the opportunity to perform, I will do it. So who cares? It's up to you. I don't have to be a sycophant for that purpose. I got a single purpose in this world, to live a life. And I will do all I can to live this life. My main thing, my children, my generation, I pray hard that God give them grace. Right? Liberians, we love all of you guys. That's why we wake up in the morning, we get on the shows. We want all of you to your life to change. I'll be glad to see Liberians having jobs, to work. You wake up in the morning, you had to set your clock to wake up at a certain time to go to work and come from work, sit with your kids, make fun with them, have them to feel like, well, daddy come from work. Maybe get that somebody say black plastic bag, right? The other people is going, maybe this one, I don't know what that yellow or white plastic bag, whatever it is. It's like with you people. The people you led, they'll make a game. They'll make sure where they get your food on the table. We can prepare the breakfast for your kids. It'll be up to you. So once again, this is the African Actions Network. We are here to bring you some analysis and look at issues that will just better Liberia. If Liberia is better, that'll be good for not just Liberia, for the world. The world is moving in a different direction. So if sometimes you're listening, those of us who wanted to see the map behind me, You look into Europe, a lot of things going on. You look into Russia, a lot of things going on the continent of Africa. A lot. Sudan is so sad. The African leaders cannot make that. But African leaders themselves suffering their own country. They can't get better. Like, bro, the African continent, so when you talk about it, people want to get so you have that kind of mindset. People say, okay, you know what, we're in America, you don't care. But the continent of Africa, they don't even get a mindset. Sudan is fighting. Ceasefire. America had to get involved. And yet, nothing tangible. People fighting that country for years. Fighting for what? Killing their own people. Now tell me, African leaders can have that urgency. What is wrong with forming even a united army for Africa? That's something extra we can discuss, right? What is wrong with that? Form a united army. Recruit people. You get the resources. Form a united army. Where there's trouble, you send your own peacekeepers there. The OAU or the AU, you have a united army that you can send people on. I mean, you can protect the continent. But these are the issues. When you don't elect people who are thinking into your respective countries, the result is always different. And that affects the entire continent, and that affects the entire world. You know how many Africans are being disgraced as a result of leaving the continent of Africa? And you people sit there and make fun, and maybe it's about election. I think like, yeah, I will say, to be president, you have people who think beyond themselves. Not someone want to build mansions. Not someone want to get plenty of money in the bank. People who think about society. People. So you said you look in your own corner, look around you. Communities should be built. Those who get the leadership, they must come out of their slaves. Build society. The major focus should be, can my society be better? Can this country be better? And legislators were thinking that way, president thinking that way, the members of the judiciary thinking that way. You will have civil society following suit. You will have the media working in line and promoting all of the good things. Other than that, you have a failed society. Thank you so much for those of you who've been watching. Share the video, and next time we might have somebody discussing the same issue and then putting one of the presidential candidates on the screen and discussing this person. We don't care what you say, we don't care what you feel. We want to give you the information. Have a pleasant and wonderful day. Why you should be thinking about who should be your next president of Liberia. What quality of person do you want to see as president of Liberia? It's an important question, and we're going to deal with it substantively. We're going to look at each of those front runners and be able to tell you, say, these are the person. We'll look at education. We'll look at all of their personality. I hope I was in Liberia. I'll go to some of the high schools that people went to. And no records is in Liberia, because sometimes some people say, oh, the war destroyed all the records. And Liberia was a big excuse. The war destroyed all the school documents. All my documents got destroyed during the war. Right? Yeah, but still, there's some piece of information Liberian can get. You can ask some people. There are some teachers, some people who taught some of these people. Go and hear from them. If anybody ever got involved, somebody spy, somebody was known for spying, that person not need to be president. If somebody, for any reason, jump, it's like in 10th grade, you're going to 12th grade. That is honesty. Anyway, let me end the show here. Until next time, stay tuned, share the video. And if you want to discuss the issue, just give me a text. We'll be glad. In fact, I'm going to contact some folks who will come and discuss this topic in detail. And the next time, we'll start looking at individuals. I'll put George here on the screen. We'll discuss George, the possibility and the unlikely. Okay? Have a pleasant and wonderful day. This is James Jansen, and this is the African Actions Network. It was a pleasure having you on with us today. And, well, I pray for you and also pray for me. Have a pleasant and wonderful day.